Super Smash Bros. Ultimate aimed to bring everyone back, but this led to the newcomer count being kind of a disappointment from the start. Luckily, this was solved by 3 years worth of additional content, bringing the number of newcomers from 11 to 24, the most of any Smash game. The game's updates not only added characters however, as we received whole challenger packs containing a multitude of songs, spirits, and a stage from the character's game world. In this video, I'll be going over all 11 of the challenger packs, but if you want to hear my opinion on the base game newcomers, that video's already up. So without further ado, let's just talk about these characters, because there's gonna be a lot to get into. I remember just barely catching Joker's reveal at the Game Awards since I was in class at the time. For some reason, I just couldn't believe the character choice. Probably because he was revealed way earlier than anyone expected, coupled with the fact that it was mentioned Nintendo would be picking the DLC characters this time. And why would Nintendo pick a character that was known for its presence on PlayStation? Joker not only set the precedent for how exciting the reveals would be later on, but also the quality and quantity of the challenger packs themselves. Joker's stage Mementos oozes with Persona 5's signature style, and his Final Smash and Victory screen go great lengths to replicate how they look like in the games, with the latter even including several voice lines from the other Phantom Thieves. Not to mention that if a song from Persona 4 or 3 are played, the stage and Victory screen replicate the respective styles of those games. Oh yeah, the songs too! God, Persona songs are already so great. And then they go ahead and make an already great song into Smash's best remix. You may have noticed though that I haven't touched on Joker himself, and that's because I admittedly have very surface level knowledge of the Persona series. I always imagined that he was this graceful thief that moved quickly but elegantly, and Smash does replicate that with his fast-paced playstyle, clean combos, and the overall feel of his animations. His gun especially contributes to this idea by letting him chip away at his opponents from a distance, and also giving him an additional mobility tool. And then when he's ready to release all of his pent-up rebellious energy, boom, Arsene comes out and he gets to go ham on his opponents, giving him the power of a heavyweight with none of the downsides. I honestly think they did a great job representing how I imagine Joker in Persona 5, but I know some fans are disappointed with what they did here. He's apparently supposed to be on the cockier side, and it sucks that he doesn't get more than one persona, because he was able to have multiple of them in the games. Thankfully, I haven't played Persona 5, so I can say Joker is looking cool. I have never played a Dragon Quest game, but I like to think I know a lot about RPGs, and Hero kinda represents the genre perfectly. Hero's normals are very derivative of other fighters, but if you think about it, Dragon Quest is the grandfather of JRPGs. That technically means these sword fighters are all copying Hero? Of course, Legacy isn't an excuse to bring in another anime sword fighter with nothing special, so he's able to use various spells throughout his series using the MP bar, a staple mechanic of JRPGs which limits the spells he can use. This enables said spells to be really strong and still feel balanced, which makes them really satisfying to use. But Dragon Quest has like a bajillion spells, and there's only 4 special move slots, so the designers decided to make Heroes Down be a command list of random moves. I play Genshin Impact, so I'm a pretty experienced gambler, and my god, it's so cool to feel that same sensation in a Smash Bros. Character. Opening that command list in a tough situation, hoping you'll get a useful projectile or a good buff, is a rush of instant dopamine. And then you have spells like Thwack and Hocus Pocus, which increase that RNG tenfold. Hero is a character I always try to use because there's never a moment where he's boring to play. Sadly, the legendary status of this franchise makes aspects of it heavily protected. This is especially the case with the franchise's music. Sure, he gets 8 tracks, which is great compared to the 2 Cloud got initially, but these are all midis of the songs. It might not seem like a big deal, believe me, I thought the same, but these songs just sound so much more soulless compared to the other songs we get in the game. It doesn't help that Overture, a track that is pretty much the series' main theme and is even in the Heroes reveal trailer, isn't included in the Challenger Pack. I know this was pretty much inevitable, seeing that Dragon Quest games themselves aren't immune to musical limitations, but it really puts a stain on an otherwise solid Challenger Pack. Banjo and Kazooie's reveal trailer is a sequel to K. Rool's, which makes sense because they're kinda in the same situation. but the two trailers feel completely different. While K. Rool's return felt more triumphant, Banjo's just feels like a really warm welcome. The trailer and Spiral Mountain remix especially run with that theme, and I couldn't help but smile while I watched it.
It's another Donkey Kong character, what the heck? Wait, no, it's gonna be Banjo Kazooie. It's Banjo Kazooie, oh my god!
That new Spiral Mountain remix is even composed by Grant Kirkhope himself, who's both the original composer for Banjo Kazooie and Smash's first Western composer. This character is also just on a grander scale because unlike K. Rool, he is owned by Microsoft. Sure, Nintendo and Microsoft are best buddies right now, but that doesn't change the fact that they're a competing console manufacturer. I haven't played the Banjo Kazooie games at all, but I think the simple moveset makes sense for them. Platformers aren't meant to be complicated genres, and the other platforming heroes we have in Smash have relatively basic movesets. That isn't even a bad thing. I appreciate us not getting a pack full of wacky mechanics and crazy meters. The pair lean more towards a zoner playstyle than an all-rounder one, which I didn't expect at all. Though I do love that a lot of the moves brought from Banjo Kazooie aren't translated directly one-to-one. They're adapted to work better in the context of Smash. The devs also did a great job with the animations and expressions here, with so many little details hidden in each move. And I'm so glad that they didn't give Banjo and Kazooie realistic animal noises like the Donkey Kong characters have, because a lot of the sounds they make are hilarious. All of these things tie into one central feel, that these characters have been here all along. They literally feel like characters from Melee that have just been updated over time. And while he's probably my least favorite and least played DLC character, I can't help but just enjoy his presence here, because his addition was well overdue.
Hey, cover!
Before his reveal, I literally could not tell you who Terry Bogard was. One of Smash's biggest strengths is how it can act as an advertisement for these lesser-known games. When I first played Brawl, I literally only knew Mario, Sonic, and Pokemon. Smash introduced me to some of my favorite gaming franchises and the larger scope of the game industry as a whole, so it was such a cool feeling when Terry was revealed and I was able to learn about a corner of the game industry I hadn't seen before. And this was really easy to do because Terry brought his whole damn company, with a dozen different characters in the background of his stage and 50 songs from different SNK franchises. Terry is also my favorite fighting game character to play in Smash. I only know how to input a quarter circle because I found playing him so fun. He has the same attitude as Captain Falcon, shouting broken English words and pulling out stylish moves. His combos are also extremely easy to pull off. The only thing that can stop you is constantly misinputting a power dunk. His go meter fulfills my desire to have final smashes in competitive play, and I really wish more characters had these explosive special moves. He's also the first character with a back special, and I don't know if it's just me, but it feels really clunky at times. When I try to get back to the stage, I often crack shoot my way to the blast zone. Though, misinputting does help me more than it hurts me because I cannot count the amount of times I've tried to do one commanded, but get another one that works better than the one I tried to do. I honestly don't think I'll be a massive KOF fan because of Terry in Smash, but it's just really cool that I now know a lot about Terry Bogard thanks to his inclusion here. I know what you must be thinking by now. Man, this guy doesn't play any video games at all. How's he qualified to talk about this? Well, don't worry, because I played Fire Emblem Three Houses. Three Houses is a game I absolutely adore, so I'm actually pretty happy about Byleth. The game feels so detached from the Fire Emblem series that I forgot for a bit that this was another Fire Emblem swordsman. I'm not defending that god-awful trailer though, oh god.
I see. Too many swordsmen, are there? And you wield the sword as well? What will you do?
It expects us not to know the new Smash character was Byleth for an agonizing minute, when it was obvious it was Byleth right at the start. The whole thing was just awkward in general too, pushing Smash into the pre-existing Three Houses story when it made absolutely no sense. I ironically love it when Solon goes,
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
It really doesn't help that Byleth feels like they got the short end of the stick in terms of content compared to the rest of the DLC. I love the Garrick Muck Monastery as a location, it reminds me of the hours I spent there. But it just feels so lifeless because there are only 3 background cameos allowed at a time. It's especially disappointing when you consider the KOF Stadium came right before this stage. The music is also fine, but we have 4 versions of the game's main theme here. which considering they didn't include God-Shattering Star feels like a massive waste. Thankfully, Byleth redeems themselves by being one of my favorite characters to play as, thanks to their mixture of safe moves that let you poke at your opponents from a distance, and moves that will instantly obliterate the enemy. Their moveset just feels so diverse, which is thanks to them being the first Fire Emblem characters with multiple weapons. Honestly, they were kind of the ones that didn't need this considering they have a whip sword and the ability to rewind time, but I guess it was best to capitalize on this concept now. Even without a central gimmick like the other DLC characters, Byleth still manages to feel unique because most of their moves are either completely new ideas or fun spins on moves we've seen before. The only legitimate problem I have with their moveset is their final smash. Yeah, it's based on a move in 3 houses, but it feels so uninspired. And why is Sothis just a JPEG in the background? It looks really ugly. It would have been amazing if we got a battalion attack with a bunch of the students from 3 houses instead. Wow, this segment was really negative for a character I supposedly liked. ARMS is such a fun series that unfortunately fell off shortly after launch, so it's so cool that they managed to sneak an ARMS rep in this pack. The way they revealed just the fact that it was a character from ARMS kinda sucked though. The speculation went towards who would be the next ARMS character rather than what we could expect from the second Fighter's Pass as a whole. Min Min was my personal choice since I mained her for the time I played ARMS, and I really love what they did with her here. They translated the ARMS gameplay from 3D to 2D almost seamlessly, but also gave her decent close combat options so she functioned better as a Smash character. I remember expecting some sort of special meter gimmick like Terry has, but honestly, she has so many gimmicks to her already. The insane range, swappable arms, the A and B control scheme, the buff you get from grabs, it all deviates super heavily from the usual Smash character. It's honestly kind of overwhelming. I could see us getting a second ARMS rep that isn't considered a Min Min clone because she has so much going on. This isn't a criticism because I know all of her voice lines come from ARMS, but it's really funny to me that when she wins, she just goes, which means I love ramen. A bit odd we got Spring Stadium over Ramen Bowl, and it's such a shame you only get images of the ARMS cast in the background rather than physical appearances from them. But the spring mechanics of the stage are so fun casually, it's a shame it came out during the online era and I couldn't play on it as much. They also managed to get every character's theme along with an amazing remix of the ARMS theme in the pack. I don't really have strong feelings about Min Min or the ARMS franchise as a whole, but Smash would have felt a little empty without some sort of ARMS representation, so it's really cool that she's here. I've yet to play Final Fantasy VII, but of course I knew who Sephiroth was. He may be a lesser-known name today, but he established himself as one of the most iconic gaming villains back in the 90s. This is one of the ones I have the reaction to, so I'll show it here.
It's Fortnite! No, it's Fortnite! Sephiroth? What? What? Oh my god! What?
His reveal left me speechless, as another Final Fantasy VII character was such an off-the-wall pick, and the trailer was animated amazingly. Probably the reveal I rewatched the most. I love when Smash trailers have a bunch of the cast together facing off whoever was just invited, and you can really feel Sephiroth's presence both in the trailer but also in-game. Sephiroth's moveset has the exact feel I wanted from characters like Ganondorf or Mewtwo. Ganondorf hits like a truck, but his moves aren't the most creative, and Mewtwo is able to make use of his psychic abilities in neat ways, but the feeling of power is lacking. Sephiroth hits a great balance of moves that feel and look like they come from a final boss. His large katana covers an insane amount of range, especially with his up air and up smash. This lets him put a ton of pressure on his opponents while he's relatively safe. His specials follow suit, either being large, powerful moves, or moves that put so much pressure on the opponent that they end up making deadly mistakes. Giga Flare is this massive explosion that at max charge can kill at 0, but Sephiroth can mix it up with the 2 weaker levels of charge or by shield cancelling the move. His down B is a counter that works as an attack even if the opponent doesn't hit you. His up B is this flurry of slashes that lasts long enough to catch opponents that try to dodge it and also serves as a great recovery. The scariest move of all though is his side B, which puts orbs around the opponent that'll hit them later, so the opponent has to deal with avoiding attacks from 2 different sources. All of these serve to make Sephiroth an incredibly menacing force because one mistake can lead you to death. He does have some glaring weaknesses, namely his weight and slower moves, but unlike a character like K. Rool, he still manages to be a good character because his options are just that great. His one-wing mechanic does feel a little tacked on though, since it doesn't really affect any of his moves like the other DLC mechanics do. Despite not having played his game, I'm already a massive fan of Sephiroth, and I'm planning to play Final Fantasy VII sometime soon, so I'll be able to see if anything I'm saying is actually accurate.
Sephiroth wins!
What is this? Is a new game.
Oh my god, please.
Is
No,
this Smash already?
it's
No,
Smash.
it's not Smash.
Oh,
It's
not.
Xenoblade. Okay.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
Rex
no,
is in
Xenoblade is
Smash!
Smash?
Rex is in Smash!
You're gonna be like,
Rex,
hey, I was.
got our
Invitation to join Smash!
While at the time of the reveal, I didn't care about Pyra and Mythra much past thank god it wasn't Rex. I was able to finish Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a couple months ago. And yeah, Pyra's the better one. The duo have some of the most basic moves in Smash, but they bring us a unique stance-switching playstyle that makes them really enjoyable to play. Unlike Zelda and Sheik in Melee and Brawl, these two share all of their moves except their specials, but these differ greatly in power and speed. I would say that switching between the two for specific scenarios adds depth to the character, but these characters are really cheap. Since the pair have really simple moves, I think the dev team was able to refine the hitboxes to its C. No Z-axis shenanigans, no inconsistent multi-hits, just perfect hitboxes. Mythra is a take on Sheik's playstyle, but with a sword so she has a much easier time hitting her combos. In fact, he can kind of just button mash and hit a string of 4 to 5 hits. She doesn't even get a consequence for having a sword. These moves are probably as fast as Sheik's and are insanely safe to use. Foresight was entirely unnecessary, but hey, only serves to make her even better and safer. And Lightning Buster is just... Pyra is the complete opposite, being a slow, heavy hitter. These moves are meaty, similar to the ones you'd find on Ike or Ganondorf. She's arguably worse than Mythra thanks to the type of character the metagame encourages, but you'd still be missing out if you only played Mythra. Pyra's moves kill insanely early and are honestly really easy to land despite the speed. She also just has a bunch of kill confirms off of her down air, and her uppie is as big as a power geyser. How fun. I really enjoy the approach to how they switch, as it's pretty different to what Pokemon Trainer offers. The two share enough where it doesn't feel like you're learning 2 whole new characters, but you get the reward of having 2 characters under your belt. I really enjoy playing them though, because I'm not a person who can dedicate myself to just one character. I love using most of the cast all the time, and I pretty much mained random in Smash 4, so being able to master a character that gives me so many options is great. It is odd that it's just them alone though, since Xenoblade 2 focuses heavily on the bond between a blade and a driver, but I mean, Rex is there sometimes.
I thought I was gonna be in Smash!
Tekken is a franchise that was a no-brainer for Smash, and as you can see with my reaction, I sort of felt like Heihachi was a no-brainer choice as well.
Tekken? It's gonna be Heihachi! It's Heihachi! What? Oh, it's Kazuya!
Kazuya was the best option though because he has the Devil Gene, which helps him function in a platform fighter. I am a little split on how they translated him. The appeal of Smash is its simplicity, and having all of these command inputs kind of crosses the line. I was completely fine with the introduction of command inputs with the Shotos and Terry, but Kazuya has all of this. I've made some concept movesets in the past, and the fun of it was seeing how far you could go implementing a character's abilities, while sticking to Smash's limits. And watching pro players play Kazuya, it's pretty obvious that the mechanics of Smash actively work against him. I'm not a Tekken fan, but Tekken is weirdly popular in my country, and I have a friend who's super into it, so I'm able to recognize a ton of references. It's really cool to see the classic Tekken hit effects here, and I recognize a lot of Kazuya's moves as moves I was brutally destroyed with because I'm not good at all at Tekken. It's still easy for someone like me to pick up Kazuya though, because the power behind these moves are insane. He is literally a DLC version of Ganondorf and Little Mac, but he still gets to have a good recovery. As if he wasn't scary enough, he also has the Electric Wind God Fist, which basically just lets him be a fighting game version of Luigi, and get these incredibly horrifying combos. While I don't necessarily care a lot for the franchise, and I would have picked tons of other characters over Kazuya, Tekken not being here would be wrong, and Bandai Namco just receiving its second character now, when they developed the Smash games, is kind of absurd. If I could have picked anyone from Tekken though, it would have been my main Bob.
This has to be... It's Cinderace.
Who is this?
What?
It's
Dark Souls! It's Taboo! Either that or it's Dark Souls, because it's a campfire.
Fire Mario. That's just Mario.
Sora! It's Sora! It's Sora!
Kingdom Hearts is a series I've barely touched, but with the amount of people left overjoyed after this reveal, yeah, this was the best ending Ultimate could have had. It was the first time I barely saw anyone angry on Twitter immediately after the direct. His reveal was absolutely perfect, calling back to the first trailer for Ultimate and having a large chunk of the cast present. Seeing Sora fly around so whimsically perfectly captures the Disney magic the series is associated with, which makes it a massive shame that the only Disney content we have here is that Mickey Keyblade. He still works without that Disney content, but it's hard not to feel like something's missing. While Sora may not have any big gimmicks or new mechanics, the team manages to make another swordsman feel totally unique. Instead of the usual slashes and stabs, Sora has all these wacky multi-hits that help him perform all of his combos. He also gets a lot of time in the air thanks to his recovery and floatiness. I'm pretty sure Sora is our first floaty swordsman, which totally changes how he plays as he's way more comfortable staying in the air. It's stupid how far he can go with that recovery. A part of me does feel like there was wasted potential in his specials though. His neutral B spell queue is really unique, but you really end up only using Thundaga because the other two aren't that good. And did he really need another counter? Even if Sora wasn't who I was rooting for, he just wraps Smash Ultimate's package up so nicely because, well, he won the ballot. So I'm glad this seemingly impossible character choice is finally here. And with the final character done, those were my thoughts on all the DLC characters. What do you mean I missed somebody? A heavily memed pick from a culturally impactful game released in the last decade? Oh, you mean Sans? No, we're not doing that right now. Anyways, those were my thoughts on the DLC characters. I obviously had a lot more to say with some characters than others, especially since I haven't played half of the games of the DLC characters, but I really wouldn't replace any of them because I think they all deserve to be here. Yeah, even Byleth. I'd like to thank Mr. Sakurai, his dev team, and everyone involved in this project for bringing this ultimate cast of video game legends together. With everyone always talking about what new characters could get in next, I feel like people forget to appreciate what's already here, so thanks Smash team for introducing me to all these cool video games. If I could ask for one thing though, I wish one of my most wanted characters got in. I never really felt what it was like to get that childhood dream character into Smash, and I don't know, it seems cool, but this roster's big enough already.